So I am on the hunt again. I am actually headed out this morning to meet up with a private seller that I've actually purchased from before. I actually shot some footage of our previous transaction, but somehow or another the video was corrupted, so you guys actually never saw that. But it is a husband and wife team. The husband has collected comics for like decades. He has a pretty large collection. And he's actually holding on to some of the books because he wants to pass them on to his grandson. But he's decided to sell off large portions of his collection because his son has indicated that he actually does not want the collection. So I met up with these guys previously after finding their ad on Craigslist. Met up with them at a Starbucks. We looked at some Spider-Man books. We looked at some X-Men books. I ended up picking up some great stuff from them. And I realized when I saw another Craigslist ad that they had out that they actually had some Invaders comics. And if you guys saw one of my recent videos, I made mention that I'm actually going to hunt down possibly the whole run of Invaders. And these guys have several books that I actually need. So I'm going to head over here actually to their house, I think, to meet them and grab some books. They actually invited me over this time instead of to the Starbucks to actually take a look at the whole collection. So I'm honestly not quite sure what all I'm going to see or what all I'm going to buy. So I'm actually prepared a little bit differently for this one. Normally I bring a Storefolio with me to grab some books, but I also brought a couple of extra things with me this time because I'm not quite sure again what I'm going to encounter. So I actually want to take a couple of moments to show you guys what I have in my trunk. Nothing too crazy, but it gives you some idea of the things that I do to kind of head out for a hunt. So what I decided to do for this one, because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to encounter, I actually grabbed a box here to be able to take home a lot of comics in the event that I actually buy a lot of stuff. Because I'm not sure if everything is bagged and boarded, I actually brought some additional bags and boards with self-sealing. So I actually don't need any tape because these will seal behind. And then I also brought my standard Storefolio. So what I'll probably end up doing is actually going up to the house with just the Storefolio until I kind of determine how much space I'm going to need, and then I'll come back to the car for the box and the bags and boards in the event that I actually need that stuff. So again, nothing too crazy, relatively straightforward setup, but it just gives you some idea of how I kind of plan to grab a couple of books, but then also having a backup plan to grab a lot more books if the need presents itself. All right, so I am finishing up here at this private seller that I told you guys about. They literally had the books in their living room. And so I actually did not shoot any footage inside because it was like literally inside of their house, and that was slightly awkward. But we, well, awkward in the sense of taking photos and videos inside of their house. Great conversation with these guys, great selection of books. I mean, they had some creepy comics, they had Tarzan, there was a lot of Charlton, Dale, Gold Key books there. There were some treasuries. I mean, it was a lot more than what I actually expected it to be. And what was also great is I had a fantastic conversation with these guys about comics. So that's always fun. I did manage to pick up some books, some of which I expected, some of which were unexpected. But stay tuned because I'll be back in the comic book room and we'll show you guys exactly what I picked up. So I am back in the comic book room and ready to show you guys some of the books that I picked up earlier today. There was a nice stack of books off to my side. The first one that I managed to pick up is this one right here. It is Invaders #1. Definitely a really cool book. The book does have a spine roll, but that is something that I can easily fix because it is a really nice copy. So definitely pumped about that. And I just finished reading this issue not that long ago. Like it was been like maybe 3 days that I read this. So it is all fresh on my mind. So I picked up issue #1. I snagged issue #2, and all of these books are in decent shape. Some of them have a little bit of wear, but that's kind of par for the course. Here is issue #4, issue #10. Here is 13, Gollum Strikes. This is 22. Absolutely love that with the 2 torches on the front cover there. Here is issue #35, and all of these are going to be rebagged and reboarded. This is issue #36. Here is issue #38, and as I mentioned, I may actually end up getting the full run of all of the Invaders, so kind of debating it, but after being able to pick up so many of that run in just one stop, it kind of gives me the motivation to actually go after the full run. So I may actually upgrade some of those and get like issue #1 graded possibly, and maybe issue 2 as well. We'll see. And then maybe even the giant size #1 graded as well. But I may actually end up doing the entire run just based upon how quickly I was able to pick these up. But while I was shopping for those books, I had to take a look at the rest of the collection to see what else was there. And I'm glad that I did, because this book was actually in their Craigslist ad, and I did not think that it was actually still going to be available. But surely enough, it was. And this book may actually surprise a couple of people, but I'll explain why I picked it up. This is Showcase #73. This is the first appearance of the Creeper. And the reason that I snagged this is because the Creeper is a Steve Ditko creation, and I dig Steven Ditko because of everything that he did for Amazing Spider-Man. So when I saw this one, I had to pick it up. It's probably maybe a 4. Maybe a 4 on a good day. We'll see. There's definitely some wear on the spine here. I want to take a much closer look at it, but I'm thinking at least a 4 for this book. So definitely pleased to have been able to pick this one up in the wild for a fair price. So you cannot argue with that. I also snagged this one. It is the second appearance of Deathlock, and Deathlock is one of those characters from my childhood that just brings back all kinds of memories, because at the time Deathlock was everywhere. It was like Deathlock, Spider-Man, Punisher, Wolverine. These are the guys that were crossing over everywhere. And so I saw this one as I was going through the bins and decided to take it. There's a little bit of some smudge here on the front cover that I may be able to clean up, but outside of that, it is actually in decent shape. So I'm definitely pleased to have been able to pick this one up in the wild. And while I'm showing you those books, I thought I would show you 2 other books that actually arrived a few days ago, but have still been boxed up. Technically, it's 1 book, but I have 2 copies of it. It is a modern book. It is The Prodigal Son, a Silver Surfer #1. Went ahead and picked this one up. I actually ordered it a couple of weeks ago, I think. Finally arrived. I actually just finished reading this story, and it's actually an okay story. The events that are in this issue actually take place before Silver Surfer Black #1. So it was kind of a cool read. The artwork was okay, but definitely a cool book. I don't know if you guys have read this one, but I enjoyed it. I used to be a really big Silver Surfer fan, like back in the day, and I've kind of gotten away from it. But with Silver Surfer Black and like this issue, I'm definitely kind of enjoying the Silver Surfer thing all over again. But there you have it. That is essentially my hunting haul video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, I definitely want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button, and then also to drop some comments, because I will be reading and responding to those. And if you need to, feel free to reach out to me at RegieCollects on Instagram. Take care.